We're back with the sixth episode of our video series focused on helping CPOs and their teams grapple with the critical issues we're facing in these challenging times. Our goal here is to pose a few ideas, perspectives, and questions that you should be asking as you navigate your way through this pandemic and its human and economic implications. So like most executives, you've probably spent the last several weeks focused on risk mitigation, supply assurance, and making sure your business has run as close to normal as possible. More so in some industries than others, certainly, but everyone to one extent or another has had to grapple with this. Now, as many cities around the world and states within the US begin to reopen, or at least consider the prospect, we at the SmartCube have begun to see a host of questions from our clients asking, well, what's next? What do I need to be thinking about as we go forward? So in line with this, my next series of videos, starting with this one, will focus on the key topics that you need to focus your time on in the coming weeks and months, and things that you need to understand. And today, we'll discuss demand. COVID and its resulting business environment impact has radically changed what we know to be normal business operations. In some instances, things will, once we reopen, return to normal very quickly. But for many, there's going to be a new normal as business and procurement executives begin to ramp back up. And the underlying driver of this ramp back up to the new normal is going to be demand and how our customers and consumers will fare. So with that, it's going to be important for us to have answers to four specific interrelated questions. Number one, what is the near to medium term outlook for my sector and for my company? Part of answering this question is understanding the nature or the structure of your industry post-COVID. Who's made it through and in what shape? Who hasn't? This isn't only about your competitors, but it's also about your customers and your suppliers. In many spaces, the structure of the industry will shift, perhaps temporarily, perhaps permanently. Another aspect of answering this question is assessing where we expect demand levels to return to, both near term and medium term, and then some expectation of when normal will return. The second critical question is, how is demand expected to ramp up in the new normal? What's the pace of recovery here? How fast or how slowly will this happen? Being able to answer this requires us to understand what are the key levers and drivers of demand. Why will demand move in a specific way? Understanding the underlying drivers allows us to better understand whether that shift is permanent or temporary, whether it has follow-on ramifications for other aspects of our business or not. And of course, the final interrelated question, perhaps the most important one here, is how will customer or consumer behavior change? For many sectors, this is about customer receptivity, interest in their categories, and willingness to spend. For other sectors, especially those within certain aspects of the CPG space, that return to normal may mean a decline in demand levels to something more normal and relatively more predictable. Wherever you sit, answering those questions, understanding the demand side changes across the sector, and translating its ramifications for your business is the essential first step. If you have more questions or would like to talk through how to best answer those questions, feel free to drop us a note and we're happy to get into a deeper conversation. All right, that's it for this video. Be sure to check out our special COVID-19 site, which has plenty of data and analysis for you to access. You may be watching this video on the site itself, but if you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube, you can access it via the link above or below. Stay safe.